Hey y'all, I wanted to show you a really pretty project using a clipboard. Now this is a new clipboard. I ordered a set of 6 of these from Amazon, but you could pick them up at Walmart or any office supply store. And I started out by using some dark sealing wax in black. You could also use brown sealing wax or even paint, but I would suggest watering down the paint just a little bit so that you could get a transparent aged look. Now I just buffed it around the edges until I was happy with the way that it looked. I did want it to look old, like I said, and this MDF board that these clipboards are made out of really absorbed that wax so it didn't have a greasy feel. But I went ahead and took a little soft cloth and buffed out the wax, once again just to make sure it wasn't greasy and didn't leave a film on top of my board. Next, I'll take some painter's tape, and I just taped off underneath the clip part and on the sides everywhere that this clip touched the actual board. Then I'll use my folk art chalk paint in the color Maui Sand. It's a really pretty medium dark gray, and I wanted the clip once again to look old, so I gave it a coat of that, gave it a good blow dry, and then painted it with a second coat of the Maui Sand. Now, once I was happy with that, I'm going to use my folk art chalk paint in the color Java and the very same brush. And I used a very, very small amount and started dabbing that around on my gray just to give me a rusty look. Now, it's easier to start small and use a little paint and build up because it's easier to add more than it is to take away. So once I was happy with all of the little rusty spots, I'm going to use my Anita's acrylic paint in the color Terracotta and do the same thing. Just the same brush, get a little bit of that orange on there and just kind of dab that around until I was happy with it and I felt like it did look like good rust. You could also add a little bit of cinnamon to the wet paint to give you a rusty texture, but I just chose on this project just to use the paint. So you can see me here, I'm just kind of layering it. I'm using a little bit of the brown and then a little bit of that orange. I like to kind of blend those colors together. It looks a little bit more authentic. Then I made sure that that was completely nice and dry, and I removed that painter's tape. You can see how it already looks so old. Next, I've got this old piece of spindle. This is probably a chair leg spindle, and I added some hot glue to the high spots. I will use a brad nailer and nail this from the back later, but just to hold it for now, I just hot glued it to the very bottom of my clipboard, and I flipped it over to the back. And I've got this little metal hinge that I found. It's more of a bracket, and I bent it up so that it was a little bit more angled. And I'll take one of these little tiny screws. These come with the little sawtooth picture hanger kits. So I used that and I screwed it with just a little tiny screwdriver just to make sure that it didn't go all the way through the board. I held my hand underneath. And I did also add a little bit of E6000 to hold that in place down at the bottom, but it made this really sweet cookbook stand. You could use it for a regular book stand, but I think it's really pretty in the kitchen. I love the way that the handle turned out, and I think it'd make a really great Mother's Day piece or just for your own house, for your own kitchen, a good little gift. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this gives you an idea and some inspiration. Thank you guys for watching. I sure would appreciate you sharing this out with your friends, and I will see you later. Bye.